Here's a tank with some of the higher end or higher tech plants that I brought in from the Singapore shipment that you're just about to see the unboxing of. So I thought I'd do a shot of a few of the tanks anyways, just to show you what they look like in the tanks. Starting from the left there, this is Rotella indica that I brought in quite a long time ago. And in there is Rotella macranda green, Alternithera reinecke, and then in the back there, Alternithera rosifolia, and this one says it was in Rotella indica greenleaf. And then over here we got some stargrass, some more reinecke, some Alternithera purple, Lilliciana I think it's called, Ludwigia inclinata, Ludwigia palustris, narrowleaf. This one is the immersed form of Ludwigia palustris greenleaf, and then there's more narrowleaf there. And then we've got some Deandra over here and some Rotella wallacei over here. This is a higher tech tank that I set up. It's just a 10-gallon, just for sort of the smaller high-tech plants, just because they tend to get lost and I can't keep track of them if I put them in bigger tanks. So this is just a 10-gallon tank with some aqua soil, CO2, and a Sunrise LED light, which I hope to be carrying soon. These LED fixtures are incredible. They're really good. So yeah, we just got some dwarf pennywort in there, some glosso over here, some stargrass in the back there, and I tend to keep some Tropica stuff as well, some Hemianthus, micram, sort of HM I guess is what it's called, and there's some more glosso in there. This is my moss ball tank. About a year ago, is it already a year ago? Holy shit. Okay, yeah, probably about a year ago I brought in about 1,000 moss balls from the Ukraine, just because it's a lot cheaper to get them in from the supplier that way. So I brought in 1,000, and I probably sold almost half of them already, and they were spread out through all my tanks. And then I just decided to just keep them all in here with my goldfish. When I brought my goldfish in from the pond in the fall, and they just kind of graze on these moss balls, and they keep the tank pretty clean. I never feed these guys. They haven't been fed in, I don't know, not since September maybe, but they're doing good. They like I say, they're algae eaters, so they just sort of nibble off the glass and nibble off the moss balls if they need to. So yeah, I just keep them in this thing, and I sort of stir it up once in a while just to get the moss balls moving around, and it seems to work okay. This is where I keep all the 1-2 grow stuff. I didn't have a shipment this week, but I got a bunch coming in next week, so these shelves will be filled back up again. A lot of this stuff is going out on Monday, so the 1-2 grow I keep in there, and then sort of the portions of moss and whatnot I just sort of keep in a tank like over here. Okay, doing the video. Haven't done a YouTube video for a long time. Just brought in a shipment from Singapore today. First shipment since Christmas time. I ran into some issues with Chinese New Year and whatnot, so thought I'd do a video today, and I want to put up some more YouTube videos on my product pages, just showing you sort of what each of these plant looks like. So yeah, it'll be a pretty straightforward, just unboxing video. Okay, first one out of the box is Vallisneria gigantea. Just sort of your standard standard jungle valves. Sorry about the lighting down here, it's not that great. So I think I brought in about 50 or 75 of these, I can't remember. But they're super long, really nice and healthy stuff. And next out of the box, we've got some what they call Vallisneer, a red Reuben or red rubra. Some places call this just sort of red jungle val, I guess. But it's kind of it's a shorter jungle val, a little bit thinner, and it's got obviously a red tinge to it. Next up out of the box is some hornwort. Obviously a nice easy floating plant. And Singapore, in my experience, does this plant the best. It's fully submerged and it's really nice and soft. I've bought it from other places and it just looks kind of weird when I get it, and it's almost like it's immersed growth, but I don't know how you can do that with this plant, but I guess in some places it grows differently and in different conditions, but I've always found that the Singapore stuff seems to be the best. This one is Aponogeton crispus. This is a bulb plant. In this case, these are all baby, kind of small plants, but looks beautiful. Really easy plant to care for. There's quite a few plants in the Aponogeton family that I've brought in many times, but nobody seems to like them, and I always find it weird because they're really nice looking plants. So I just bring in sort of the cheaper, more popular ones that people like. So, and this is one of them. So next one up here is Rotella macranda green. It's kind of hard to tell what it looks like. It's actually got some pinkish leaves on it, but it always seems to look like that when I bring it in. But this is fully submersed growth, which is good. A lot of the rotellas, they come in immersed, so it's not that great, but this one's fully submerged and looks really good. I don't usually bring a lot of this in because when it does ship to me, a lot of times it just turns into mush, so it ends up being a waste. And it's not a terribly popular plant, but anyways, it's a little bit of a difficult plant, so I just bring in a few bunches at a time and see how it goes. We got some corkscrew valves, Vallisneer asiatica, it's called. This is another really popular plant for me. I brought in about 60 of these, I think. This is Creeping Jenny. It's a nice sort of mid-ground plant. Next plant we've got here is Alternanthera reinecke. This is the immersed form of the plant. We had a really good thread going on one of the Facebook groups today. I can't remember what group it was, but we were talking about immersed growth versus submersed growth. And this is one of those stem plants where you can sort of tell it's immersed because the leaves are kind of small and more roundish and there's no color to them, and you can actually see I don't know if you can catch that on the camera, if it's showing or not, but there's little flowers you can see coming out of the stems. So that's obviously not not grown underwater, so this one will take a while to adjust, but it's not too bad. And when it does, it's going to have more sort of triangular leaves on it than what it looks like now, but it arrived in really good shape, so I'm pretty happy with that. This one here is Myrophyllum matagrossens, or just brown myriel, I guess you normally call it. This is a nice, if you're looking to add a little bit of color to your tank, this is a good option. It's not a terribly difficult plant, but it's one of those ones that's totally brown or sort of reddish color, so it's a good option. This one's Crypt Lucens. This is another this is another one that's sort of immersed growth. So you can't really tell from this picture what it looks like, but it's got kind of, it's a taller crypt and it's got longer, thinner type of leaves. So these ones they're pretty slow growing, these ones. This one is called Alternanthera rosifolia. At least that's what this nursery calls it. I think some other places just call it Reineke purple. Is another name I think that they use for it, but this one calls it rosifolia. And this one's looks like it's submerged growth. It's got nice purple leaves and typical what you'd expect from an Alternanthera species with a longer sort of oval-shaped leaves. This is a pretty difficult plant. I wouldn't put it in anything other than in a high-tech sort of setup. This is Myrophilium scribratum, or green myrio. We saw the red one earlier, and this basically looks exactly the same, except it's a green one. This one is Lindernia. Very similar to Creeping Jenny that we saw earlier today. This is the immersed form. As you can see, there's some purple flowers on it and whatnot, but actually the submerged form looks almost exactly the same anyways. So it's a pretty easy plant to transition. It's got a nice round leaf on it, and the thing that separates it from the Creeping Jenny, I'm not sure if the camera's capturing this or not, but there's some nice sort of striations on the leaves. So there's white lines going through it. It almost looks like a melon of some kind. So pretty cool. It's a nice sort of mid-ground plant. This is just a brown crypt, but it obviously doesn't look too brown right now. And a lot of times it just starts off as a green crypt. Most of them look almost the same when you get them, but so the crypts are always a bit weird in terms of immersed growth and adjusting to new tanks and all that kind of stuff. Everybody knows that already. So, but anyways, I thought I'd show you what these look like when they get here sometimes. Another crypt. This one is Pecci, and these ones look really good. These are pretty much submerged growth right now. So this is a really popular crypt as well. This is red tiger lotus. These ones look pretty good. I've bought these before. They don't come with bulbs. Most of the ones you'll see in the stores are grown either they'll give you a bulb or there'll be a bulb with a plant on it. These ones are just sort of already mature enough and then snipped off from the bulb, and they seem to grow fine like that. They've got a healthy root system, and these ones look pretty good. So it's a bit of a hit and miss when I bring these in, to be honest. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but these ones look like they'll be pretty good, and I'll have these up for sale. This one is another Alternanthera variety, Liliana, I believe it's called. Red ivy. It's similar to the rosifolia one I had before. It's another kind of difficult plant, but it's got some nice color to it. It's another crypt that we bring in quite a bit. Crypt Bekti, I believe it's pronounced. It's a nice green, brownish, maroonish type of crypt. This one is Bacopa carolinea. It's a nice, pretty common plant in the trade.